Hey, welcome to Monday Mojo. This week it's called Get Up. Get up, stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up, don't give up the fight. That comes from the famous Jamaican singer-songwriter Bob Marley, the lead singer of the Wailers. So what do you do when you get knocked on your tail? What goes through your mind? Is it, see, I knew I couldn't do it? Or is it, I have to get back up and try that again because I think I almost did it? How do you feel when somebody says something that you don't agree with? You cower in the corner and play the silent resistor? Or do you stand up and shout, I don't agree at all? Well, this week I've seen firsthand how passionate people can really be. After I made a couple of references to the events in Hyannisport and the passing of Senator Kennedy, and this is, by the way, in spite of the fact that I never mentioned politics, people came strong with their opinions, and I like it. Some sympathetic, but some downright hostile. And what's wrong with that? Nothing. The first warning we all hear is stay away from politics and religion. Well, why? Because they're two subjects that stir us to the bone. We have passionate debates about what we believe, and beliefs are everything. They've changed the world for better or for worse. Napoleon Hill, after spending 20 years of his life studying some of the most financially successful people of his time, came to a very simple conclusion that serves as the root of life. What the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Well, as a fan of the saying, the world is run by those who show up, I'm wondering if we're showing up enough. The barriers to entry to speak your piece are virtually gone. All you have to do is get on the internet and get after it. Say what's on your mind. Let people know what's deep in your soul. But be prepared for what you'll find, because it ain't always pretty. Sure, you'll find compassion and empathy from those that agree with you. But really, go look for those that don't agree with you. They're the ones making you think. They're challenging your foundation and making you question your direction. Now, I'm not advocating that you bend like a blade of grass in a hurricane when somebody doesn't agree. I'm just compelling you to think. If you disagree, think, then respond. Whenever possible, base your argument on evidence. Don't get all frustrated and mad. Just think, plan, and make your case. Why do you think so many people have successfully advanced their beliefs? Well, I would argue because they first conceived, then owned those thoughts by making them unshakable beliefs and built their case. Many of them were great orators who used momentum to convince the masses. Of course, many of them had evil intentions. Need I remind you of Hitler? Do your homework and you'll see that he had a belief system that he owned and then created a plan to advance it. He actually played on the dissatisfaction of the German people, who, by the way, were some of the smartest and most culturally advanced people of their time. He compelled them to follow his agenda in very short order. I also read that when Churchill spoke up against Hitler early on, he was actually chastised. So the rally cry this time is to the dissenters. I applaud you for speaking your mind. I admire you for standing up and suffering the taunts of the masses or the easily swayed. Because there's always a place for freedom of thought and speech. Now, I'm fortunate to live in a part of the world that allows for that freedom to exist. I often think, what would it be like to live in a world where we were punished for our thoughts as we spoke out? By the way, it happens every day throughout the world. The powers that be strike down the dissenters every day. But really, where would we be without them? Would we be dumbed down to the point of mental slavery? Would we be a broken people that simply followed the laws and the rules of those who were strong enough to seize control? What kind of an existence would that be? After all, the difference between people and animals is the ability to think. What would we be if that were taken away? I grew up in a part of the country where people became so frustrated that they took action and fought for those freedoms. Right here in Boston. But why does it have to get to that extreme so often? Now, not many people really believe that war is the best solution, but instead of protesting against it, what are they doing about coming up with an alternative? See, they're already too late at the point of war. So here's the rally cry. Get up well before that point. First of all, don't let anybody get control of your mind. Always think. It's no big surprise that the foundation of self-esteem is self-efficacy, or simply, it's our belief that we are capable of handling anything that comes our way, even when we have absolutely zero experience. You have to first believe that you're capable of expressing what's on your mind. So, what if you're not a great speaker? Say it slowly and clearly. Who cares if you're not a good writer? Work through your rough drafts and keep it simple. But the most important component is to get it out there. When you do that, something amazing happens. You get responses for and against, which in turn makes you think more, research deeper, learn more, and make finer distinctions. Now you return to the forum stronger and more prepared. You're advancing. You're feeling good because you're involved. But there's always an underlying caveat, and Napoleon Hill actually warned about it. Inaccurate thinking. Beware of the law of consistency when we would rather be consistent than right. We often lock into a belief and never leave room for flexibility. We stop learning, and that's dangerous. We get too emotionally involved and ultimately stop considering the evidence that we once held on to so dearly. So be real. Consider the evidence, stir it around, consider its source, question its credibility, do the homework. It's just too easy to accept something on face value and advance it, but most importantly, say what's on your mind. Put it on, people, and see what happens. It just might take you in an exciting direction you never thought possible. Hey, this is Danny Griffin with this edition of Monday Mojo, reminding you, join me. Let's keep this journey going. Let's keep the conversation going. Meet me at Twitter and Facebook. We're going to post it here, but also feel free to post this video anywhere, embed it, pass it on to your friends. And remember, from this Monday Mojo, think and thrive. We'll see you next time at freethinkingtools.com.